Hey everyone, it's Jenna Melanson from Canadian Beats Media. Today I'm joined by Canadian country artist and actor Wes Mack for our latest segment of Zoomies. Welcome, Wes.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course. First of all, care to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, I am Wes Mack. I am a singer, songwriter, actor, musician, producer. I make a bunch of stuff.
For sure. So you have you're about to unveil your EP Hummingbird. So tell us a bit about the writing process behind that release.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a strange one and sort of a whole lifestyle change. I started working on this record in the first week of March 2020, and everybody knows what happens next. Yeah, it kind of changed the whole record. I had a bunch of different plans of where I was going to travel to and how we were going to make this album come together, and instead it became a bunch of Zooms and FaceTimes and sharing files between cities. And oddly, I kind of love how it came together. It allowed me to
Mhm,
work with people all over the place, and that became the process that was Hummingbird.
for sure. You worked with Dan Swinimer and Jordan
Or back, no worries.
Orback, okay,
He's got yeah,
on
he
the
knows.
release. Um, how was the experience to work with those two?
Oh, it was great. I mean, Jordan has had a hand in every piece of music I've ever made from like the beginning of my career. So we have a
Okay.
really comfortable relationship. And that was a lot of just sending files back and forth.
Mhm,
It honestly, like I love making music with that guy. We feel like it's a real good yin yang kind of thing. And Dan was a welcome addition to this. I hadn't worked with him as a producer before, but we've done a lot of writing together. We wrote a couple of songs that were on Tyler Joe Miller's debut record,
mhm,
and have a few other songs out right now with some other artists. So it was like an easy fit where we'd already worked together a ton. I really admire his work. He's always, been a big proponent of my stuff, and so it was an easy fit to come together and make some music production wise.
mhm. And you also produced some of the tracks, correct?
Yeah, it was the first time. I think the first time in many years, maybe really early in my career, I would have produced some stuff. Probably wouldn't have been very good.
Mhm,
But this is, where I actually have stuff coming out on the record that I fully produced and played everything on. Some of that's just because, it was created during the pandemic
mhm,
era, so it's pretty insular. But I really love a couple of those songs that I ended up doing. It allowed me to like make all the choices on it and play things and do stuff a little bit differently than you would in like a big studio session.
mhm, definitely. So the release follows your first two albums, Edge of the Storm and Soul. How would you say your sound has changed through these releases?
Probably a lot. I don't know how I'd sum it up. I mean, I tend to just kind of make records of how I'm feeling at any given point in time. This one was certainly a more insular record, maybe a little more introspective, because of what was going on. I finished most of the music on this was finished, over a year ago. So for
Mhm,
me, it feels like it was really it was the pandemic record for me.
yeah.
So that would have influenced a lot of the sound on it. If anything else, it's I hope it's better. I hope it keeps. But I don't know. Whenever I compare it to previous records, like they're each their own little entity of just like a snapshot of what I was up to
Mhm,
in life.
yeah. But you obviously would see growth and all that
Yeah,
through the
yeah, totally. But
yeah.
it's weird when you look at that because it's like I look back at decisions I made on the first album where I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I don't know if I'd make that decision now, but I'm glad I
Mhm.
made it then. So
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
know if I see. I don't think I've ever felt like my stuff is getting like either better or worse. It's just different throughout time. You just do different stuff.
Mhm. So you also just released the single That's My Country. How did you decide to have this track as a single?
I wanted this as a single from like the second I started writing it. That I don't know. It feels special to me. A lot of this record was made up at my cabin where I am right now, and the first four lines of it is when I feel too far gone, I throw on a song, something about Alan Jackson. He just gets me, and I it is just really like a simple place to start from. Anytime I drive up here, I have Alan Jackson's 35 greatest hits on a CD and throw it in my truck, listen to it. I don't know, I just felt like kind of a love letter to this place that was a bit of a shelter from the storm through a lot of this.
Hmm.
But I feel like by the time we finished writing it, it was kind of a more universal and open thing of like, I feel like everybody's got a place somewhere that has some kind of bigger life meaning to them that grounds them a bit. And that's this place for me.
Hmm.
And so that felt important. But also honestly, I like how the chorus hits in that song, and Jordan did a rad job of the production on it.
Absolutely. Do you have any upcoming shows to tell us about?
I don't think I have anything to announce right now. I have a TV appearance, actually a couple of them next. I'm not sure when this will air. So I think on October 27th, I'm in an episode of the CTV NBC show Transplant, which is in its
Okay.
final season. And then in December, there's a movie coming out called Cape Holly Christmas, where I play a country musician in it and play a bunch of songs and stuff like that. So those are some sort of impending things for me
Okay.
that I got going on.
Is that a Hallmark or just
I actually don't know what network it is. I
yeah.
think it'll probably be a Hallmark. Sometimes
It
when you
kind
shoot
of
those things,
sounds
oh
like it by
yeah,
the
yeah,
title, but
totally, 100%. It's like it's like wholesome family fun for
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
It's the real Christmas vibe. There's a bake off in it,
Okay,
So
I'm gonna have to
no,
check it out.
yeah, I'm
I'm
wearing a
all
giant
about
cowboy
that.
hat. Yeah, no, it's very fun. We had a great time making that movie.
Awesome. So the next five questions are just for fun.
Cool.
If you could work with any Canadian artist who you haven't already, who would you choose?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Uh, uh, Corblund's a dope artist. Big fan of him. Paul Brandt is another like past hero. Fred Penner, childhood icon, who I still think does awesome stuff. Neil Young floats around. So a lot of them are kind of classic. You end up wanting to work with people that have been heroes in various
Hmm.
phases of your life. So maybe one of those guys. I don't
Yeah,
know.
definitely. Who was the first Canadian country artist to catch your attention growing up?
First one growing up. Paul Brandt actually would have been pretty early on that. Oh, actually, no. You know what? Further back, Ian Tyson.
Okay.
I grew up listening to Ian Tyson records. Being from Alberta,
Yeah.
throwing on Four Strong Winds. It's like real classic, smooth country. Um, and yeah, to me, you just can't get much better than him.
Great. What's your all-time favorite movie?
All time favorite. I think it's Star Wars. And that's a cheat now because that refers to like a million
A
movies. I
lot.
guess it was the original trilogy, which I never used to break it down. If I had to pick, it's probably Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I think that's my favorite movie.
Great. With autumn in full swing, what's your favorite activity to do in the fall months?
Um, Fall month favorite activity. And I just like being outside anytime. Like
Okay.
I don't know if I don't know if that really constitutes an activity. I just like any amount of time I can spend in nature. Yeah, man, I just watch the leaves fall off the trees. Yeah,
That
that's
works.
it.
And last but not least, are you team apple or team pumpkin?
I would be Team Pumpkin, I think, overall.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it refers to, and but
In
I'm go
general.
sure.
Okay. So that's it for Zoomies. Thank you for joining me and congratulations on the EP.
Thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate it.